emerge and see. Resurrection, transcendence, and ascendance. This idea of emergence, resurrection is a raising up, yeah? Raising up of the dead. It's a certain kind of emergence. Transcendence is a lifting out. Ascendance is a lifting up. And it's all about emergence. It's all about something greater that we are metamorphosizing or metamorphing. How do you say that? Metamorphosizing, I think is the word, or metamorphosing into, whichever the form of that word is. A metamorphosis happening that we then emerge from as a new being. And I believe that each one of us is in that process right now. I think humanity as a whole is involved in a certain amount of raising up and lifting of consciousness. That's why we are up high, the United Palace House of Inspiration. Well, our work here is to help raise our consciousness, to raise our vibrational frequency. And this is what the story, one of the things, the key things to me that the story of Christ shows us is about raising our vibrational frequency through resurrection, through transcendence and ascendance. So this idea of emerging and seeing connects with what we've been talking about since Easter. The expiration, remember that? Expiration, aspiration, inspiration, sublimation. But the aspiration, the expiration, inspiration, sublimation, resurrection, and now transcendence and ascendance, and even metamorphosis. These are powerful principles and processes to begin to become more conscious of. Because we go through these things, even if we're unaware of them, we go through these. We go through resurrection. We go through transcendence, ascendance. We experience expiration, aspiration, inspiration, all of this. But too many times we're not aware. When we become aware and make these experiences conscious, that is when we take in the true power of them. That's why, for me, the journey of Christ, it's a journey toward the end there. It's a journey of conscious death and resurrection. He said, I could destroy the temple and rebuild it in 3 days. He knew what was going to happen, and he walked into it consciously. And it doesn't end at the death. It also doesn't end at the resurrection. But he ascended. And all of this was a conscious choice to become more and more of a vibrationally exquisite and sublime version of his source, which he termed as Father. Father, for me, means source. But what is emerging for me personally, and I'm going to ask you this question today, and we're going to work with it, of course, meditatively, going into the secret closet. I'm going to ask you about what is emerging for you. I feel things emerging for me personally, something very key, and I think each one of us here, but also I would say all of us as a collective community of spiritually minded people, consciously spiritual people, including those watching by live stream. I meant to welcome you. God bless you. Thank you for being with us. This includes you as well. That this is a movement of spiritually focused people who are ready to move into a higher order of being. And in order to move into a higher order of being, it requires a higher order of change. Change. Resurrection is a type of change. Resurrection that comes after the death of expiration, yes? When Jesus expired upon the cross, released his last breath and said, "Unto you, Father, Source, I commend my spirit." Death is a change. And then there was the resurrection. Another type of a higher order of change. Death, resurrection. And the expiration of giving away all that we are. Giving away all that we are to the Spirit.